Cool.
And then
Exactly.
we're here live.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sian, welcome, internet. How's it going? All right, let me just go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and open up the chat here so we can get some interaction going. Welcome everyone. We're gonna be
Hello.
asking Sian some questions and talking about his new EP, Electricity. All right.
And I'm going to try and answer them.
He's gonna try and answer them. I'm sure he'll do great. All right. Let's just actually just switch it over to Electricity now, just because I'm sure we at least have someone in here already.
Or maybe we can hang on and see
just wait.
until let's hang on until a few more people join and stuff.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So where is the live window when you're doing this, by the way?
My live window.
No, so like say I'm on the mau5trap YouTube page. Where's the live window where we're? Oh, I see.
It might take a second. I'm trying to find it right now too.
Mm.
All right. I see a lot of cool videos for Halogen and No Salvation.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it live yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a delay, right?
Yeah, let's just kind of keep it until we. I think
Yeah.
until we
Let's
see
just
it
keep
live.
rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, I have it muted anyway.
Yeah, I have. I'm gonna be making sure we monitor our volumes, just because I have the song playing also. So I want to make sure if anybody at any time doesn't hear one of us because the music's too loud, just let me know. But yeah, dude, I love that neck tattoo. I think I already told you that, but like I like how it's offset.
This one or this one?
Both of them are sick. But
Oh, this one. Yeah.
super sick.
Cool. Thanks.
I'm just like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I didn't see that one on your arm before. Is that like the mountain peaks on the? Yeah.
Oh, this? Yeah. So what it is?
The band around here.
Yeah, I got this in Hawaii. It's supposed to be
Super cool.
Yeah, protection, and then this.
Let's see.
This is supposed to be we're all individuals, but we're on this journey together.
Cool.
Yeah, I got them. This
I like
one
it.
from Oahu, and then this one from Maui. Yeah.
I was just in Kauai.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw the helicopter.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. It was bananas.
I would have been freaking out. But
I did some good snorkeling. Do you know tunnels?
yeah.
It's like that's a cool spot.
Snorkeling over there is so magical. There's just so many colors.
Yeah.
I'm still not seeing it live.
So what's your latest tattoo, by the way?
Oh, I got this. Okay, so it's a tsunami wave.
Oh, cool.
And
I
got
really
it
like that.
on the day that We Are Friends Volume 9 was released, because it was Friday the 13th.
Cool.
So it was
Nice.
$40
Very cool.
$40 tattoo. So
Nice. Where'd you get it?
at this tattoo shop locally here in Ocean Beach. I forgot the name. I was kind of just walking around.
Hmm.
So it wasn't
Nice.
anything like a special. I mean, it was a special shop, but it wasn't like an artist that I normally go
Hmm.
to. But yeah, I think it came out pretty cool.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Good
for
job.
his Friday the 13th tattoo. So.
Yeah, really cool.
Have you ever gotten a Friday the 13th tattoo?
No, never actually.
Yeah.
What's the story with that? Is that a California thing?
Yeah, I
Or-
guess so. So on Friday the 13th, they offer, like, a lot of the tattoo parlors. They offer cheap, like, reduced price. Like, you have to pick off the wall, so you
Yeah.
can't have anything custom.
Hmm.
And so this was the tsunami wave was actually just something on the wall. I was like, I would
Cool.
do that anyway. So
Yeah. That's super cool. Nice.
yeah.
My last one was this big. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, so
Big
sick.
snake.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so sick. Yeah, I like how dark it is. It's dope. All right, I can see that we're live now. Cool. Opening up the.
All right.
All right, cool. Hello, everyone.
We should just do this whole thing about our tattoos. Just be
Yeah,
like, hey, look at
we're
this
going through
one.
our tattoos right now, guys. Yeah, what's the story with the pyramid?
I wanted to get. I'd seen this type of pyramid in South America for a while. It's like represents like knowledge or something. And I wanted to get something here that was like radiating upwards, you know.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah.
Sick.
So I have a bunch. You can see I have a bunch on my face.
Yeah, what's going
I
on?
want to get
What are
more.
those ones on your face?
So this one is Transcendence, and this one is Content. This says Stray, like a stray dog.
Nice.
And then this one's like a power symbol.
Sick. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. Were you intimidated
Yeah.
to first get them to get tattoos on your face, or you were just like?
No, I always wanted one since I was a kid. As a kid, I always wanted to like have my whole arms covered, like these, you know.
Nice.
I wanted to get a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I was.
Since I can remember. You know? Yeah. Like a sailor, you know what I mean?
Sick. So welcome everyone. We're celebrating Sian's new release today on mau5trap Electricity. We're gonna check it out here, and we're just gonna be going through some music and talking about music and going through some playlists, and we're talking about tattoos, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So you're playing music there, right?
Yeah, right now I'm playing Chopper. But I'm
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna switch it over. So yeah, actually this track, by the way, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit before we get into your newest release. This Chopper is like, I don't know, how did you do the bass in this one?
Like it. So that was like a sampled note repeated on an arpeggiator, just really simple, and then it just goes up and down a bit, you know.
Cool. Yeah. It sounds. I mean, it sounds like the name. Like it sounds like a helicopter training.
Yeah. Also, chopper is like this when you're a kid, you know, this bike with the long handlebars.
Oh yeah.
That's like a chopper motorbike. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Francisco. Hey, what's up, Spirit? Yeah, so we're gonna be going. Woohoo! Yeah, we're happy to be here with you guys. And also, I noticed that you really like these kind of simple, garagey, percussive sounds. Can you talk about the way you build your percussion real quick?
Yeah, sure. So do you mean like the way I'll chop in drums within the beat? So yeah, I always do that. I kind of have this thing for 80s toms, like really old school drum machine stuff, and I'll usually put a ton of distortion on them and then kind of like throw them left and right and use them to break up the beats, because my beats are always just kind of heavy, like backwards and forwards, kick, snare, or clap. So then the other drums just kind of give it like a fill kind of feel and shuffle, you know.
Nice. I like that you mentioned that you like those 80s drum fills, because I think that's what I was picking up on. Especially in your remix. Hold on,
yeah.
Because you remixed Saturn, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we were on the same remix pack.
Yeah. I want to play that.
So yeah, you did Fall, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of intimidating remixing deadmau5, especially when you've got like very low time? Like we had very short time frame to do that, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a project, and I was really excited to do it, but then the second I opened up the stems, and it kind of all started flowing. So any intimidation I had kind of disappeared once I started actually working in the track. So we're gonna go ahead and play Saturn by deadmau5 Sian remix here. Love this song, so good.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, I feel like the top percussions that you add in here are reminding me of those 80s sounds.
Yeah. It's kind of Miami Vice vibes.
Alright, I wish I could speak Spanish.
Why? I can speak Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Spain. Okay, he said, me encantaron los remixes de ambos. It's like, I like both of your remixes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you did a really good job with
So did you. Yeah, that was tricky because it was kind of like, here's a big remix of your career. You've got like 3 days, you know? And just like take the parts, and I'm just like sitting in front of it going like, it's really difficult when you really like the track, you know, like Saturn's probably my favorite deadmau5 track of all time. So I was like kind of sitting there going like, shit, how do I deal with that huge big synth that makes the track, but do something different to make it my own, you know?
Right, yeah, and especially, I mean, I think it puts another level of challenge on there when you really do enjoy it, when it's a track that you know, it's one of your favorites. And,
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't want to disturb it because you already like the way it is. But,
Pressure, yeah.
cool. Yeah, we're listening to Saturn by Sian remix. Yeah,
And also you don't want to mess that up, you know what I mean? Because deadmau5's fans are like serious fans, you know what I mean? They're like,
oh, for sure.
you don't want to mess a remix like that up, they'll be like, oh, they'll come after you, you know?
Yeah, they'll find your house. I'm just kidding.
They'll find you.
They'll find you. All right, cool. Yeah, we're celebrating. I haven't actually. Oh yeah, so we have a question. What are your go-to synths? They're raw and unique. Can you talk about your go-to synths?
Sure, yeah. I mean, one thing that I'm really loving at the moment, I know everyone uses Serum, but I use the Native Instruments REZZ a lot.
Oh, sick.
It's kind of overlooked. A lot of people don't really give it any time. But if you get in there and you mess around, especially, I mean, I use a mixture of chopped up samples and soft synths.
Cool.
But Native Instruments REZZ, especially for like mid stuff, just has like a weird kind of thick, like gooey feeling to it. And then I'll put quite a lot of distortion on stuff as fuzz, and I'll kind of wind it back down so you can almost not even hear the distortion. It's just kind of like a warmth.
Cool. Yeah, I've never worked with Native Instruments REZZ, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's a secret weapon.
They'll come after you. Someone's
Yeah,
responding to that.
they're serious. Yeah, Joel has big fans, big fans.
Oh, sorry, my camera just went a little bit blurry. Hold on. All right. Let's turn over.
Because you're in space.
Yeah, space has no.
This background is killing me. It's so crazy. You look like you're in Star Trek.
I am in Star Trek. I'm just trying to get it to focus again. All right, so while I'm getting it to focus here, I'm just gonna tune back in. Let's listen to your new release. I haven't even listened to it yet, so.
Okay, cool. Someone's telling me to turn my microphone up.
Okay. I can maybe adjust the volume. Hold on. Let me just get.
No
my
worries.
focus back.
I'll get it. All good.
All right. I don't even know why it's not focusing. I know. Okay. Someone said if you move it. All right. Getting some other.
Cool. I mean, my microphone is it's coming in from my headphones, so maybe you can take the volume of mine up a bit.
Yeah, I can turn it up. Hold on, let me just try to figure out why I'm not getting in focus here. Maybe if I cover it. Let's focus here. There you go.
Yeah, you got it.
All
cool.
Right. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and try to turn Sian's volume up, and then
yeah.
Let's listen to. While we're doing that, let's listen to his new release today. 3-track EP called Electricity on mau5trap.
One of the tracks is with IO.
And yeah, IO.
The second one.
I can't wait to listen to it. Yeah.
You mean you haven't listened to it already? Jeez.
No, I
I'm joking.
Hey.
Yeah. Star Trek.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, is that like, what would you call the start at the beginning of Electricity? Is it like a hit?
Which, the bass thing?
It's like,
Or the percussive thing?
like a percussive clap or something?
Yeah, it's probably sometimes I'll get like toms and pitch them up or down and use them as like hits, and then I'll use this thing called the transient master to make them like attack more.
Cool. This song almost makes me feel like I'm flying through space.
You are. Yeah. Okay, so your volume is a little bit low now, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna test the settings real quick. Let's see.
I think you just have to even them out a little bit because they are quite like extreme, you know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
like, you lower mine and yours will go up and down.
Yeah, let's see. So, is mine good now? I hope that's okay.
Cool. I think that should be all right.
Yeah. We'll just keep moving with it. Let's
Mm.
see.
Yeah, we'll get by. At least people can hear us.
Yeah.
Streaming is serious business. Like, it's so hard to get everybody into the software, get everyone sounding right. You know, I've had problems with that over the last few days, like every artist, you know.
Yeah, and so this is kind of we're all like jumping in and becoming computer scientists here, trying to figure out their stream experts in like a couple weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone's suddenly an IT guy.
Thank you, Austin, for the comment on my music. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, it's funny. It's like I used to work at an IT company.
Oh yeah.
I was an office manager.
Tech support.
And I like
Cool.
It was not my.
Oh man.
I just said not a morning person at all. My mornings normally start in the afternoons.
Yeah, good. Did you get fired
No, I actually quit. To pursue.
before they fired you?
Yeah.
Good move.
Yeah.
Get out of there before they. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually quit when I went on a vacation to Hawaii for my birthday, and I was like, "Screw this! I'm gonna do my music full time." So.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, and it gets to like, it gets to a point where you kind of have to decide to do music full time, or else you're not gonna ever.
Yeah.
Like, in a way, it's weird because when you decide to do it full time, you're forced to do it right. You know?
Yeah. Well, when did you make that decision? What's your story?
I never had a straight job in my life.
Really?
Never. Check this out. I skipped ahead a year. I went to school in loads of different schools because I moved around a lot. And then I went to study biology.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we talked about that.
And I got signed to a record label in the first year. And then I went and did sound engineering really quick. Went into a studio and like just helped them like an assistant in the studio for free.
Oh,
So
cool.
this was in like a rock studio in Dublin, and I'd go, like, I'd do everything, clean up, make tea, and then I would use the studio at nighttime when there was no one there, and then work again in the day.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then from there I built my own gear, got my own studio, and then I was making beats for like commercial artists and hip hop and stuff for a while before I got to do Sian project. You know?
Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
So when did Sian as a project come into being?
Years ago, ages ago. It took me so long to get to the point where I was actually like out there and getting some recognition, but I've been doing it for a while before that, just like DJing in Europe.
Oh,
quite
cool.
a lot.
So you said Dublin. Is that where you're from?
I was born in Dublin. I grew up in Spain.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then so how
Yeah.
long? So I've always known you living in Los Angeles now, correct? I think, right?
I'm here 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Actually, someone. So they're saying someone's asking a cool question actually about that. They're wait, hold on. We're going to try and answer these when they come in, right? Yeah, so this guy is asking you who your favorite artists are at the moment.
Oh, okay. So I would say some of my favorite, most inspirational artists right now definitely would say Anna and Webba, both of them together. I really look up to their production skills. And I really Enrico Sangiuliano. I really love Enrico Sangiuliano. I love everything by Eric Prince and all of his side projects. They're super cool. Yeah, like I mean, I really like all the Cyrus D tracks. Those are super sick. Someone's saying yeah. How about you? What's some of your favorite artists right now?
I'm really liking some kind of breakbeaty stuff that's coming out from like Jensen Interceptor. It's kind of like hard warehousey techno kind of
Nice.
electro feel. Yeah, there's some like on Boys Noise Records and stuff like that. Then obviously Zone, which is Gesaffelstein's label.
Cool.
There's some really cool shit on there, like Cardo Pusher. I'm really loving Black Gummy stuff at the moment. Obviously IO, you, and all of the mau5trap artists are doing really cool stuff.
Yeah, I like the
So
direction.
yeah, I'm kind of, yeah. I've always got like more of a kind of warehousey feel to what I'm doing.
Yeah, we saw Boys Noise here for New Year's Eve here at Spin in San Diego. It was pretty fun. It was cool.
Yeah, that looked like a good show.
Yeah, I really like that you're like what you're saying, like the more warehousey, thrashy, like it's kind of like you're saying you're coming from a rock and roll background or whatever, like I came
not
from
so much the progno end of things, like not so much the kind of current progno like European techno, more so the kind of like rougher, kind of edgier stuff.
Yeah, I really like the grimy electro sounds, like things that make it almost, and also tracks that almost sound like you could play it with a live band. That's really cool. You know, when you don't have too many elements going on.
Yeah.
Hi from France. Hi Gary. Cool. Bonjour. Yeah. So how many different languages do you speak? Because I only speak one language.
I can understand Italian. I've got fluent Spanish. My English is crap. My French is terrible.
That's cool. I never would have guessed. Yeah. Now we're listening to Halogen with Sian and IO's collab. Can you talk about this track real quick? How did you guys decide to collab on this?
Yeah, so myself and IO were talking about doing something together for just like a minute. We were joking around about it because we did a couple of shows together and a few things, and we kind of have the same vibe and aesthetic. I think we're both basically like obsessed with like skulls and death and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny, but yeah, it just kind of clicked, and literally we made that track in like 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah, like we were sending parts backwards and forwards, just nailed that arpeggiator thing, and then we're like, this is like working. We actually did another one as well. I'm not sure if that's going to come out soon.
Nice.
But yeah, it just made sense like straight away.
Sick. I get the feeling that both of you work pretty fast once a track. Would you say
really fast? Yeah. I write honestly, like I write about 3 to 5 tracks a week, and then I keep maybe one, and then at the end of the month I'll go through, maybe 30 tracks, and I'll keep like 1 or 2, and then I'll go the next month, and I just keep working at that pace, writing and finishing tracks. That's I think we talked about that the first time we met. Is like finish your own tracks and go and play them in a club, and you'll know like straight away what's wrong with them.
Yeah, actually that's a funny story. It was actually when I opened for Sian at the Black Hole Space Yacht event in August 2019, and that was right before I ended up sending my music out to mau5trap for the first time, and it was after I was talking to Sian about when did you feel confident enough to start playing your own music out, like DJing it, because I had all these tracks that I was working on, and then I found myself at a place called Sound Nightclub, and I'm like, this is a big show for me, and I got a little nervous that first time to play my tracks. And then we had a really good conversation about you just got to do it, because that's the only real way that you're gonna know what you need to fix. That's the only real way you're gonna know what the crowd likes, what you want, what direction you want to keep moving with. And that really helped me out a lot. Thank you, man. That was cool.
Cool, of course.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's weird, the tracks that you think like, oh, I'm not sure about this, it's a bit weird. You go and you play it in a club and you see the reaction, and you're like, okay, cool, this should be the A side. Because sometimes you don't know until you hear it on big speakers and get a reaction. There's some guys asking, he's saying Octopus is one of his main sources of inspiration. What do you look for when signing new artists? On my label, the most important thing is like just to be unique. There's some, like if you look at the top 10 of Beatport or whatever, typical template. I mean, the number one thing I'd look for is just someone who has a sound that's different and they're not afraid to be weird or stand out from the crowd.
So your label Octopus has been putting out a lot of really nice stuff too. I like this kind of dual relationship going on, because obviously, you know, you're a mau5trap artist and you have a lot of good releases coming out there, mau5trap too, and then you seem to be pulling up a lot of great artists with your own label as well. So that's kind of cool that you have both things going on.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I see it from both sides. Like running a label for a while, you get to see how difficult it is, and it's really hard to get your music heard by people. But the one thing is, like, if you can get it to DJs, like I've seen some people recently, they couldn't find a deal. They were sending demos to the label all the time, really frustrated. And then they sent some tracks to like Richie or Adam or, you know, or like newer artists like me. And then you start to play those tracks out and people get wind of it and they're like, oh, wow, this guy's pretty good. I heard this person play it, or I heard this in a podcast. And then that's kind of a good way to get noticed by labels too.
Cool. Yeah, that's really good advice, because I know a lot of I get those questions a lot too, like how do you actually get your sound out there? How do you get your music into the right hands where people are actually starting to recognize what you're doing? Because there's so many talented producers out there, and I think that we've actually started to see that through even with like when Eddie went live the other day and was just playing the demos. It's like, wow, I mean, there's so many talented. Really, now anyone can have the potential to be a really great producer.
And there's so many people out there who are just like making amazing music, but I think one of the best pieces of advice, and there's so much bullshit around this, but people say like it's 10% talent and then 90% hard work, which is you can make so many tracks. Like some friends of mine are great producers, and they're just in their basement making tracks all day. They never stop and say, okay, where are these tracks going? Like, how am I gonna put myself out there and make like my own world out of this, you know?
Yeah, and I think that that's also something that comes, like, when we're circling back to like the full commitment. I kind of had a realization a few years back, kind of around the same time when I decided to fully shift 100% to music, where it's like I don't want to live my life half doing stuff. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it fully. You know what I mean? So I noticed a lot of problems and stress start to arise when you half commit, or you put yourself halfway into it and then halfway not, and you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and it can create a lot of stress internally.
Yeah, you got to just commit 100%.
Yeah, you just gotta full send. Yeah.
This is a good question, actually. This guy James is saying, any tips to help with writer's block? I actually know a really good one for this. I don't know if you use this, Kiki, but if I'm ever stuck and I have like an 8-bar loop going on, what I'll do is like mute all my main parts, and I'll start to imagine what the track would be like stripped down with a brand new element coming in.
Cool.
So then when I say like, okay, like I'll cut out all the synths and drop some like really weird percussion sound with just a kick in the bass. And then it starts to make me think like, okay, so now I have all these synths. These can be leading up to a point where it drops down. Just the very exercise of doing that, like taking your track in sections and saying, okay, this bit's going to happen, then this chunk's going to happen, then I'm going to drop down. If you remove all that like noise from the synths, you'll see clarity in what should be in there. And sometimes a drastic change can really help them.
You know, it's interesting. I think that I do that. I think I've been kind of doing that naturally on my own recently, because I'll get like a solid, like, you know, build up section, and then I have a lot of synths going on, and then sometimes that's actually the point where I get stuck. I'll be like, okay, I don't really know where this is going to, and then I keep trying to connect the dots, and I just have to mute everything and just start jamming along with the new synth, and all of a sudden you find out that you can connect the new synth in with what you already had, and then the structure.
Yeah, and then it also gives you the best way for big changes in your arrangement, because you're sitting there listening to an 8-bar loop, and then the more you listen to it, the more it doesn't make sense. You just all of a sudden you're like, that sounds weird, that like doesn't fit together. But if you do a drastic change, stop yourself listening to that loop, and then take the drums of your track to make the arrangement change into something new. That's one thing that gets me out of the loop.
Nice. Yeah, that's some pretty solid advice. I've noticed too, like we're gonna go back. We're gonna go switch gears, go to your playlist now. So Sian
Yeah.
put together a hot tracks playlist for us so that we can kind of listen. And we're gonna start with a track by Systemies, which is a cool homie and Brandon, and also on mau5trap. So this one's called Prime Pulse. I really like the intro of this track too. It's super good. Someone was saying the album art is amazing. Yeah, your album
Oh,
art
cool.
for
I made that
Electricity.
actually.
Yeah, super
Thanks.
good.
Yeah, myself and Juhin make all that stuff ourselves.
Dope. That's something that I need to start getting more into. I was playing around with Photoshop, but pretty much just making like collages, not actually designing my own vectors in like Illustrator. So
Yeah.
that's something that I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
forward to learning more of. But what I was gonna say is, I have a lot of friends that work pretty much in an 8-bar loop. Like they are pretty religious about creating. Once you have a really solid 8-bar loop, then you can have a full track and start working on structure once you got that loop completely dialed in, and something that you can just listen to over and over and over again, and you're jamming out to it each time. For me,
Totally.
I've been doing a little bit of both, because coming from a live music background, I have a lot of like I build my tracks off of the flow of me, like kind of feeling it out and feeling like there's a progression. So a lot of times I'll get stuck in an 8-bar loop for a while, but I do pretty much build my structure right away. And I don't know if you do that as well, if you like working in the 8-bar loops, or if you just start building your structure right out, because I find that
I like to get, even if it's like a really basic crap skeleton, just I try to get like a feel of, okay, this is going to happen before the break, then there's going to be a break, then something like new comes in after the break, and then I get like a skeleton structure. So even if it's really rough and it sounds super basic, once you have that structure, then you can go in and start moving things around, and your arrangement's pretty much done. So you solve two things at once. Firstly, how to make drastic changes and surprises in the track, but then you're already having your parts lined up so that your arrangement is done.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
And like so many people have loads of 8-bar loops, but if those are in a similar key or you can make them work, you should combine them and say like, okay, this is like a big change in the track, and import those parts into others, and then you have a whole track.
Interesting. Yeah, so what I've been doing lately too is I've been building banks. Like if I have an 8-bar loop that I enjoy, but I'm not necessarily turning it into a song yet, I'll just save it in a bank file, and then and then I can pull it in later. Yeah, I see. Someone asked if we have any virtual or live stream sets planned. Do you have any sets planned?
Yeah, I find like two DJs standing in front of CDJs on a camera, I find that so boring. But like I'd rather like make tracks or play video games with people or something, I find like it just kind of loses it. If someone's DJing in their bedroom, it's just vibeless. You know what I mean? It's just like you're meant to be, I don't know, I need the reaction of a crowd to play my best. And I think like most live stream DJ sets are kind of boring. I've done some fun ones, but like, yeah, I did them, I did a couple where there's a crowd in front of you and it's good. But when it's just you in your bedroom or your studio, it's like kind of boring.
I feel like it'd be fun if we had VR goggles, right? And then we can like, you're DJing, but then everyone had the VR goggles, so people are actually interacting in the crowd and stuff. Hopefully we get there soon.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm trying to read prepare VJ for his new DJ project.
I would love to DJ in a game. Like I would love to DJ in like Fortnite or like GTA or something.
Oh, that would be super
Eventually,
cool.
I would love to do that.
I would be open to that too. Yeah, I actually don't have decks at my house, so I don't even think it's possible for me to do it. Like I don't like DJing inside a computer really. It's just not my cup of tea. So I don't think it's even possible for me to do a live stream set from here.
Yeah.
But I have.
Why don't you make a digital avatar of yourself so you don't have to go to any more airports and stuff?
Yeah.
Just send the avatar online. I mean, is that maybe we're going to end up like that, just DJing for people online?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Terrible.
Maybe. Yeah. But I have been going live doing my productions. I've been doing my just kind of production sessions. Last night I did a mix down session. It seemed really seemed like people were really digging it, just looking at the mix down
Cool.
process. And I was mixing down
Yeah,
a
yeah,
track
yeah.
that we made live the other night too, so everyone was kind of
Cool.
in there with me.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, VR would be, and honestly, if I could buy a VR headset right now, I totally would.
Have you used the Oculus?
No, I haven't yet.
That thing is the shit. I swear to
looks
God,
so
it's
cool.
fucking amazing. Oh, I'm not meant to swear, but
Yeah.
I swear to God, like it's so dope. I'd used other VRs, you
Yeah.
know, and I put on the Oculus in my mate's house, and I was like, it's so immersive because you have everything's in the actual headset, you know.
Whoa.
There's no cables, and you mark out your territory, and you can like look over the territory in VR, and then come back into the VR world.
That's
Incredible.
That's
Yeah,
so
the
cool.
Oculus is
Yeah,
savage.
I think that there's a whole new element of production that could happen inside VR, right? Because you have the track panning.
Yeah.
So you can actually position. You can position the parts of the pieces instead of having to say left or right. You could just drag it and move it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see the future of Ableton in VR. That would be a cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So someone's asking, do you need to master your tracks professionally before sending it to labels? I like to get my tracks mastered. I have a mastering guy who, for me, it's like a second set of ears because I worked on the tracks so much that sometimes after I've mixed it down and I'm happy with it, I kind of want to get someone else's perspective because it's really hard to judge your mistakes. So sometimes a mastering engineer will say, hey, your bass is way too loud or not loud enough, and they can kind of have you correct that. So
yeah, for me, I think that you can do like a rough master. So what I'll do is if I'm gonna send a track as a demo, like I'll get it to a point because I'm not a mastering engineer, so I don't, and I haven't really gone down that route yet.
Yeah.
So I've been working on mix down a lot for myself, so I do my own mix downs, and that's once you get a really clean mix down, then you could do like a light master chain, and as long as it sounds good enough, that whoever you're sending it to is gonna be able to get the vibe, and then if it is a track that you're gonna move forward with and release, then you get it finally mastered. That's been my process. So you can still do like a rough master. It wouldn't be the same level that you would release it on, but at least then people could get the picture. So that's what I've been doing.
cool. How long are we doing this stream for, by the way?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's however long you want to keep talking to me.
Yeah. I'm good to talk for a bit more. I mean, there's some interesting questions coming up.
Yeah, I'm chilling. Someone said, do you prefer a rough mastered version or just a mixed version? Definitely would, yeah.
Do you use Lange? I mean, what I do is like, even, when I'm just showing tracks, I'll use Lange because it does a good job of getting it kind of right. It's not like a professional master, but I think, do Lange or something because everyone's so used to getting really mastered fat tracks at the moment.
Yeah, I have a subscription for Lange actually, so that way I can get like the high res MP3s. Yeah,
it's worth it. It's really worth it. It's like a cheap piece of software subscription, and
they're updating it
honestly,
constantly.
Yeah, and this guy Kevin says, does having a degree in audio engineering? No, I don't think so. I feel like if you're out there and you're making tracks and you're enjoying it and hopefully you're going to make a career out of it, I don't think you need to do that much academic stuff because you're going to learn a lot more by just going out there and roughing it in trying to get gigs and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the audio,
hustling,
the audio engineering might come more so if you're like want to build your own studio, or if you're going to becoming like a mastering engineer or something like that. That might be a little bit more. But to be the artist, it can go either way. But I think that being out there in the world is the number one thing that got I don't know, me to,
because you learn so much shit just from being out in clubs and at festivals, being behind the scenes and learning, okay, that's how I should do this, or maybe I don't like the way people do this. You kind of find your own way. Yeah,
I feel like also just being out, a lot of my knowledge like came from just friends coming over and talking about Ableton and teaching me Ableton and being in the studio like I would reach out, like if I know that someone has a studio set up, like reach out and say, hey, like, you know, is it cool if I spend some time there and just kick it in the background and watch what you do?
Yeah.
Stuff like that
Exactly.
is really where I learn the best.
Yeah.
But not
Exactly.
yeah. Someone was just saying that they're listening to IO on Twitch too. Nice.
Oh yeah, he's on with Jericho, huh?
Nice.
I wonder what he's just doing a live set in there. Oh yeah, I see him.
Nice. If you don't get someone else, let's wait. At least wait for some days after production. Same with mixing. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Giving yourself ear breaks is so important.
Totally.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, because sometimes
you can't even hear the track sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you. For me, I found like this track I was just finishing up last night. The day before, I had a part in there that I was listening to it so much I thought it was almost getting annoying. I was like, oh, this. I was about to delete it. I was like, I don't like this little section. But then I just went to bed, woke up in the morning, and then what I've been doing is when I master on Lange, I'll do that the night before. So then in the morning I have it on my phone, and while I'm making coffee or something, I can just be jamming out to it. And you'd be surprised at how when you're just in a regular setting away from your computer, how much better everything sounds. Like all of a sudden,
absolutely, yeah, it's crazy. Just that bit of perspective.
Yeah, just like being able to listen to it outside the studio for a second. Sometimes I go on a walk or something, just listen to it in a different setting, because sometimes you get so much in your bubble, things can actually start to twist around a little bit.
You hear individual synths, you don't hear it like a whole song.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, Calgary was so much fun. I'm so thankful that I got to be a part of Nomana's tour at the beginning of this year, because it really just made this whole experience a little bit better, to know that I just got to play all those great shows and go to all these new cities. And Calgary, everyone in Calgary was so awesome. I want to go back there whenever I can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you playing music now, by the way?
Yeah, we're moving on. We're gonna listen to this one. Okay, yeah. So if you want to talk about this real quick, it's Eat the Bankers by Schwaffleg. I can't even spell his name. Schwaffel.
What's this?
Schwaffelgib remix.
Are you going through the playlist one by
Yeah.
one? Or maybe just skip that one. Sorry.
Let me know if there's a track you want me to play specifically on.
Maybe let's play one of the other tracks off the EP, the third one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go to No Salvation. Yeah, let's give it some airspace. Nice. I like that really dry. It's like a dry kick and then like a deep bass. It's cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's like one of the first times I've put bigger vocals into stuff.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah.
I heard the.
You know what we should do? Cool. We should. There's probably a couple of other tracks in this playlist. Hold on. That are kind of interesting. There's a few things on my label, new things on my label, like the new J Lumen one, Contact.
Oh, cool.
Cool to play that.
Yeah, let's get. I'm gonna let these vocals come in first, and then we can.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Take your time. I'm just going through the questions here.
Oh, I would love to go to Dallas. Dallas would. I went to my first ever Texas experience when I played in El Paso. It was actually the first date with Nomana. But that was my first time ever in Texas. So when this whole country opens up again, I'm really down to go to more cities, and I can't wait to play more shows. Hello from India. Nice to Zilla.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah, this is a really well done EP. I think all the tracks are solid on their own, and together they work. They have like a similar journey. I think I'm with you though. Like I'm really big about the live experience and like the atmosphere and the setting, and to be in a like when you're at a rave or and you're at a small underground club. It changes the dynamic of the music, and that's kind of where my energy sits a lot of the times too. So
yeah, for sure.
Are these your vocals?
No, that's the singer.
Nice.
Wait, what's this question? Where are you from? I'm originally Irish. I grew up in Spain. There's another one. How many tracks do you reckon we should send over? I think like 3 tracks. You should be able to say what you want to say with 3 tracks.
Yeah, I feel like
Cool, thank you.
Groups of 3 work really good, like, because it's just enough time to keep your attention, you know.
Exactly, like 3, and also, yeah, like 3 it should show what you do, you know. Like if you get a demo and there's like 20 tracks, you're like, okay, is this an album? Or,
yeah.
yeah, sometimes they're really good, but yeah.
Nice.
I'm all in the box, James. I was working in a bigger studio with a lot of old synths. I sampled a lot of those and I chopped them up. But yeah, I'm using a mixture of samples and soft synths, and I'm all in the box these days.
Nice. I am too. I don't have any analog synthesizers right now. I sold all my synthesizers to move to California, so
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to building it back up. I have a synth rack ready to go. It's just sitting there waiting.
Cool. Cool. Did you ever get into modular stuff?
No. You know, I'm curious about it too, because it's the one thing that when I see all these pictures and videos of people messing around with modular setups, and I still have no idea what they're doing at all. I mean, all I can kind of derive is that you're connecting circuits, but other than that, I'm completely at a loss. I don't understand it at all right now. So.
Yeah. It's weird because I kind of went a little bit down that road, and I was like pulling cables and you know starting to mess around with modular stuff, and then I just realized I'm gonna sit and make noise all day. I'm not gonna make tracks, so I would straight back to soft synths.
Yeah, we had like a couple beat machines. Like we had a TR-8, and then we had a Electron or Analog 4. And the learning curve on it for me was a little, like, it took away the fun of the flow. Like, I play piano, so I kind of like to just jam around and keep it going. And so the TR-8 was pretty easy, but it still I didn't really use it that much. But now I think now that I'm getting more, now that I'm producing more frequently, maybe I would use it again. But
yeah, for sure.
VCV is good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I have some friends, a lot of friends have been purchasing modular equipment, and I mean, the sounds can come out really techy, which are cool. But right now, I feel like it's better to master the tools that you have first, and then not get too many synths. I think we expanded too fast at first, and then
yeah, because you just end up sitting in front of them, like, you know, sometimes you get so many plugins at once, or there's so many options that you don't learn each one individually.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's what people just get really excited to purchase more and more plugins, or purchase more and more synthesizers, and all of a sudden you're sitting there with like 50 different synths in your computer, and you don't really know how each one of them works, and still haven't.
It's better to just have 1 or 2 and really learn them inside out. You know, that's what I do.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if there's any
more questions.
Any more questions, guys. Zlax, yo. Yeah, so do you now that we're in quarantine and there's not any shows, are you just gonna keep what's your plans to stay busy? What have you been?
So I've been starting a few new things. I've been doing some interviews on Twitch with other artists.
Nice.
I've been actually playing games with other artists and also fans and stuff on Twitch, and kind of, you know, just chilling out between making music. I've been taking time off to kind of like build up on Twitch and try to get like a little community, because there's not really that many people in like electronic music on there yet. Yeah. So I want to get that going, get more people on there. I think it's kind of fun as well. Just jump on and play Call of Duty with your favorite artists, you know? It's pretty cool.
No, we jumped on a couple times. So it was like my second and third time ever playing Call of Duty ever, and I didn't get a kill yet, but that was really fun. I suck
really bad, but I love it.
I suck so bad. Oh, someone says that he got the T5Vs too. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so are you using the Rockets? Is that your main studio monitors?
I like these ones because they sound really smooth. I like to write on speakers that are not too harsh. I used to use NS10s and Genelecs a lot, but I actually I wouldn't do a final mix down on these, but they're really easy to listen to.
Nice. Yeah, we used to are those the 5-inch? Are those the 5-inch Rockets?
They're the 6.
Oh, the 6. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we. No, don't touch the cone.
No. It's like. You can
Yeah,
never do that.
my oh, how old are you guys? I just turned 27, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I saw someone was asking about CCV gate stuff. Wait, what was that?
Someone's asking.
How did you get on mau5trap?
Yeah.
Wait. TV5s.
He's talking about the Atom, my monitors.
So how did you get on mau5trap? That's an interesting question because I come from a techno background. But I feel like mau5trap is so connected because I guess Joel is really into techno. There's a lot of other artists who are kind of reaching into the underground a bit, and it's really cool that Joel kind of looks at that and is just like, I like this music, I want to put it out on the label. And the mau5trap team are super clued in. They know exactly what's up with the kind of techno that I play. So it just felt like a natural connection to do kind of underground sounding releases, but on a bigger platform like mau5trap.
Right. That's actually what attracted me to the label as well, because as a producer, I have been leaning towards more of like a techno sound, but I always have been doing more like experimental, trippy electronic music and melodic stuff. And then, but as a DJ, because I started DJing 3 years ago, and all I wanted to do was play underground techno, and that's just what I like to DJ. So I'm finding this like fusion between what I enjoy to DJ and what I've been producing, and I feel like that as a label, mau5trap is a really good platform for that type of synthesis.
Absolutely.
And, so it's cool to be.
And
able
also, just like, they're just cool people, you know. There's a cool bunch of people who run it. They're really smart. They don't care. Like, I mean, they could easily just release a bunch of successful commercial music, but instead they're looking to do something new all the time.
Yeah. Also,
my Twitch is sorry.
No worries.
Yeah. Huh. Someone's asking about my Twitch. It's just Sian Octopus. I'm gonna write it in here.
Nice. Yeah, I think that it's really important when you're looking to like what group or what label you're going to be affiliated with, to also look to make sure that they're nice people. Like, because I noticed that like at all the different mau5trap shows I always went to, the artists were super cool. Anyone working with the group seemed super chill and awesome, and and they just really seemed like my type of people. And it's really important because you're going to be spending a lot of time working with these people that you choose to do business with. So Techno.
Yeah, and actually people that you have a vibe with, you know.
Yeah. No, it's amazing too, like how important it is to make sure that you're around in all aspects of your life, that people that you really vibe with, that you're not trying to fake it, you're not trying to be something that you're not. Like if you're not really into pop music, but you're only making pop music and you're only around people that only like pop music, then you might run into some issues down the line. But it's better to just to do your own sound. Feel the number. Oh, the one knob fatter is pretty good. Yeah, one knob. I've been getting. Oh, mau5trap crying right now. Oh, love you guys. Oh. I've been getting into the one knob. Someone was mentioning the one knob plugins by Waves. I just purchased the whole Waves, like the whole Wave Factory suite. It's actually pretty. Cool. It's pretty sick. There's like so many different cool little plugins in there. Dab.
Yeah. So someone's talking about touching the cones. I wouldn't recommend it. And also.
No.
Yeah. I think don't touch my cones.
Yeah, because the thing is that your hands have natural oils in them that can start to break down plastics, and they create film on, because your speaker is all about vibrations, and if you start putting oils building up on the cones, you're gonna start getting
they're delicate.
You're gonna start getting asymmetrical vibrations, and over time it can end up breaking your speaker. My dad's actually an engineer, and like an electrical engineer, and his passion on the side has always been building speakers. So I grew up like building guitar amps, and building like our own like speaker cabinets and stuff, and just understanding the way speakers work. And it's actually
Do you play guitar?
Yeah, I play guitar. I play bass.
Let me show you something cool.
Oh,
This is
what? That's so sick. Oh my gosh. What? Gotta bust out
yeah.
a solo. Gotta bust out a solo.
Oh no. Maybe next time.
Yeah, next time it has to be live jam Fridays with Sian.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine? Massive guitar solo.
have you ever played guitar over your tracks? Do you ever?
No, I mean, there's some cool things like guitar to MIDI tools and stuff where you can play in polyphonically. You can play in. I don't know if you guys check that out. But yeah, I mean, my guitar is just for fun. I know probably I use more distortion on synths than I would on a guitar.
So my first band was actually called More Distortion.
Cool.
And it was funny.
Yeah.
I looked it up and no one's used that name yet, guys. So someone out there.
Yeah, that's a good one. I wonder why no one's used it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Song request Slayer. Yeah, so
cool. Yes, Raining Blood. You know, the coolest guitar I've ever seen is one of the guitarists from Slayer has this white guitar that's got blood splatters on it. Have you seen
crazy. That? No, I don't think I've noticed it.
Yeah. Shredded.
Come. Mochi wants to come say hi. Ready? So right now, we just went through
cool.
Ecstasy from Virus, but Mochi's here. Hello.
Oh, cool. Nice. He looks kind of stoned.
Dude, it's because one eye, she has one eye that has a black spot around it, and then one eye doesn't. So one eye's always like, cool. It looks tinier.
Yeah, she looks like she's just been hitting the pipe.
She's been sleeping all day.
Shit, we gotta wrap this up in 3 minutes. All right, hit us with your questions.
Okay, yeah, we got 3 more distortion. Yes. Yeah. Any more questions? What was the track that you wanted me to play?
Actually, yeah. Maybe let me see. Do you want to throw on something else on mau5trap, like maybe one of your tracks, since we're talking about you?
Yeah, let's play the fall remix. Yeah, might as well, since we played the Saturn to begin with.
Cool.
We'll end it with the fall.
Yeah, you played my remix.
Yeah.
The nice one already. Cool. Did you play my remix of his other? Wait, let me show. I'll send you a link right now.
Here, yeah, we're gonna play my my fall deadmau5 fall remix. That just came out. Sian and I were both featured, including Jay Robinson, on the last remix package. So, guys, check it out and stream it and save it.
Jay Robinson, me, and Speaker Honey.
Yeah.
What about Monophobia? Do you? I did another remix of his. It's so intimidating remixing deadmau5. You know, I think when you got like, you're just kind of looking at the track and like, where do I start? Because the tracks are so recognizable, you know?
Yeah, you know what I felt? Doing this remix, actually, when I was finalizing it, I thought it ended up being on Sunday, and I thought that I had like planned the whole day to like finalize it and get it done, and then by noon I pretty much had it together, and then so I started a brand new track, and so that same day, just from the inspiration of all the sounds, and now it became one of my favorite tracks I've ever produced, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. But yeah, that's the one I've been finalizing.
Someone's asking, do we use sample kicks? Yeah, I love to sample kicks, and then I put them through a little bit of distortion, and then I will put them through another compressor sometimes. And then I'll do things like, sometimes it's just messing with the pitch of your kick, like it won't fit with your bass, and then all of a sudden you kind of drop it down a couple of notes or up, and you kind of get it to swing with your bass.
Yeah, I've been using sample kicks as well. Sometimes I'll be using Kick 2 by Sonic Academy. It's like a VST kick, but that you can make your own kick in it, and you can design it.
Yeah.
But
I know it. Yeah.
I've been using a lot of sample kicks, and you know, honestly, I feel like for drums, I'm not afraid of using samples, because if the sample's there and it's already a clean recording,
of course,
it saves a lot of time.
I don't want to sit and engineer a hi-hat for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But, yeah, someone else is asking how long we've been producing before your first release. I think there's no right time. Like if you look, there's some huge artists out there that took them 20 years to get there. There's other big artists that take a year. They usually go away fast. But the ones, I think if you put the time in, there's no right amount of time to learn. You just have to really just keep making a lot of music and finish tracks, I think is the key, right? When you like, even if you're not, you know, you're getting sick of the track, finish it out, and then you'll be able to come back to it and say, okay, what mistakes did I make with that? You 100%. Learn more that way.
Yeah, I feel like it took me up to actually starting to finish my tracks. But I've been producing for like 10 years, but as a bedroom producer, and 4 years as like an actual, like, trying to take it seriously from an engineering standpoint. And then it took the last 3 years, even after trying to really take it seriously, it took another 3 years before I felt like it was ready to send out.
It takes a long time, like a long time. I know. I mean, look at the big guys. They've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah. See,
it's
I hope
sketchy, like, you know, like that, you know, like 20, 30 years sometimes.
I hope that like my best track I'm ever gonna make in my life comes out when I'm like 60 years old or something like that. I would love that.
Yeah, and also it's kind of like, you can't really, I think nowadays people are in such a hurry that they kind of miss the fact that it's just a journey. You're not going to get huge from one track, and if that happens, then you're probably going to go way fast. But if you build a body of work, like just keep putting out quality, then you have a sustainable career, rather than you're popular and then you're not in fashion.
Right. And it's also
that would be my advice.
It's more so also too about, this is like how you want to spend your time. At the end of the day, it's like, how are you spending your time in your life? It's like, if you're doing something that you enjoy and something that you love and you're being productive with it. And my dad always said finishing projects is a big part of being a person. Like, if you ever have any anxiety, just find a project to finish, even if it's a small one.
Push yourself through.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and also, like, it's true, someone here is saying you make a lot of garbage tracks at the start and then you get good at it and then you learn more. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, everyone, you know, if I look back at tracks I made a year ago, I'm like, oh, what was I doing? You know, but then it's someone else. It's like you kind of, I don't know, you're going to make so many mistakes, but then you're going to make all the good stuff when you learn from those mistakes.
Yeah. What was the last remix that we can close out with? It was, you said you did
maybe my Monophobia, the other remix I did for Deadmau5. Since we're on, and people want to hear Deadmau5 stuff too.
Yes, there it is. Got it. Wow, this is a huge remix pack.
Yeah, there was a lot of artists on there. It's hard not to get lost in the mix, but yeah, that was really difficult because it was orchestral parts that were not timed to a click. They were like played by an orchestra.
Oh, interesting.
So I had to go in and recreate those parts in synths.
Interesting.
And it was like, it was really difficult, and I had like a short fuse on that one too. It was like, you've got 2 days, you know.
Nice. Yeah, there's something that just working with someone else's stems, sometimes you can't warp it properly, because the second you warp it, it loses that identity. And especially if you're working,
and you got to change the tempo.
Yeah, especially if you're working with
and I like doing that.
I like it too. Yeah, I can tell. What's your favorite tempo? Because it sounds a little bit slower.
Yeah, so I write between like 100 and 140. It just like depends on the track.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really digging like 117, and then up to like 130. I just did 130 the other night, and that was as a recommendation from the live stream. But other than that,
it's weird. Sometimes I sit down and I try to like make it, you know, a hard club track, and then I think to myself, this sounds way better slower, so I slow it down. It's like sleazier, more heavy, you know, just the feel of it. Cool. I think we're almost out of time, right?
Yeah. Whenever
it was good chatting.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. That was dope. Good questions.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm just gonna end it with turning up Monophobia by Deadmau5 Sian remix. And then if there's any last questions, you can shoot them in and we can answer them in the chat. Other than that, I appreciate everyone. And
cool. Yeah. Thank you. Cool. See you guys later. Good stuff. We're still on air, or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna mute. I'm just gonna Spotify. Alright,
Yeah.
cool. Peace it out.
All right.